Last time you saw little Brownie, it was out running around in the snow. We had just done the transmission transfer case in preparation to run it around this summer. So I thought I'd show you a couple of little homemade things that I did to get the Jeep ready to go. Last year when we were out running around, one of the bolts vibrated out. It was missing. They were stripped out. They were the wrong ones. They had a nut on the back side. They were trying to pinch them together. I didn't buy the right ones. I went ahead, took some old ones that I had, cleaned them up, put a new plate on the back, threaded it, and then put a little spacer in between just to make it simple so I could get it going. So did that on both sides. When I bought this Jeep, it had a plexiglass windshield. So I picked up this old windshield frame with good glass. The glass is all right. But it didn't have all the mechanisms. So it had everything on that side and nothing on this side. So I had a couple odds and ends pieces. So I went ahead, did kind of the same thing. Made my own little bolt that goes through, peened it over so that can't come out, but it flexes. And then just kind of made my own homemade knob, sort of matching the other side. Again, with a little bushing there that keeps everything tight. So now the windshield operates as it's supposed to, and we can use that. So another homemade fix. Another thing we did when we rebuilt the transmission transfer case, I put a new speedometer cable on. But for some reason, it does not fit through the hole. So I'm gonna take step bit and open that up a little bit so we can get the speedometer hooked back up. All right, well there, the speedometer cable, it's in. The grommet doesn't seem to fit very good. We'll see if it works when we drive away. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is get my spare tire mounted. So, don't have an actual spare tire mount, so I just kind of built one that's similar. This tailgate's in pretty rough shape, as you can see. So we're just gonna mount it pretty much like that. See how it looks. It's gonna definitely block that light though, isn't it? It definitely completely blocks that tail light. And I don't really want it any higher than that. So maybe I'll move it over a little bit. Now I know what you're thinking, it should be on this side, but to me that never made any sense because if I'm sitting here and I want to look back, I really can't see behind myself without really straining, but I can see straight out that way real easy. So I always think it should be on this side, but that's just my thought. Well, height-wise, it's plenty good. I can come this way a few inches. Too far. All right. Yeah, I think that's where it's gonna go. So that is the plan, just like that. I am hitting the bumper. Doggone it. Ah. And I'm as high as I can go. Shoot. Doesn't hit it anymore. Okay, with the aftermarket bumper off, the actual original cross member is still in good shape, so I'll be able to actually mount my license plate there. This tire though is actually a 700. It's too tall, but I have this one, and so I'm just gonna pop that one off that rim, or I'll see if I have another rim, probably get that one mounted up, and then we'll have a good spare that is the correct size. Okay, got an old rusty rim. Gonna try to clean it up and get it ready to mount a tire. So one problem reusing old rims, you can see this one was a little pitted. Looks like all the water was in the lower half of the rim, but it was right by the valve stem. and I got at least one pinhole. So I'm gonna go through and inspect the whole rim, clean it up a little bit more, and then drill this back out for a new size valve stem, because I'm gonna try to go tubeless. On one of the forums, somebody suggested just welding over where the old valve stem was and then drill a new hole later. So that is what I'm gonna try. Okay, so right here is going to be the new spot. I will be using a whole bunch of bead sealer. Link is in the description. The oversized valve stems, I'll try to throw a link in there, and even the tool for popping those in. So we'll get this set, put a whole bunch of bead sealer on it, bead seal the whole rim, and then stick the tire on. Okay, I fought it for long enough. I couldn't get a seal to go around it. So it's gonna get a tube. Okay, next we'll be doing the oil change. This is a 1-inch on the top of the filter. I'm gonna also not block the light. Right here, I've got a little drain so I can drain the housing itself before I pull the filter out. And then the plug on the bottom is 1 1/8 inch. The filter in a Wix anyway is a 5-10-10 for here. Ooh. Hopefully it's not more than my container holds. Yikes. All right, we'll let that drip dry and we'll pull that filter. All right, once you've got it all cleaned out, take your new filter, stick it in. Just gonna pour some oil, and this is nice fresh oil, so. Okay, here we go, that's full. Make sure you put the plug back in and fill it up. I think we're gonna use a funnel, that's gonna be faster. Okay, that's not what we wanted to do. Okay, so sometimes faster isn't always better. That was a big mistake. We'll pour a little slower this time. Glad I got that on video for you. Okay, that should be 5 quarts in, so we'll check the oil level. And that's 5 quarts when you change the filter. Okay, looks good. Try to wipe a little bit of this mess down. But the other thing I want to make sure I have is a jack. So I always like to have a farm jack or a high lift jack. So I'm gonna make some just little simple brackets, something to put that jack into place so that it's out of the way, but ready to use. I tried to make the mounting brackets for the high lift jack real simple. So I just took a piece of angle iron, went in, bolted it between. My chains are just hanging here, welded it front and back, and then put a long bolt through. We'll just tighten that up in a minute. Same thing on this side. And then we'll stick our spare tire on, make sure everything still fits. Okay, everything seems to look good. Let's put our last piece on. All right, let's take it for a test drive.